What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Hope you're doing well, feeling great, and enjoying freedom. It's a great day to have a great day. Today, I wanted to talk about silver. Go figure. More specifically, I wanted to talk about whether or not I think stacking silver is better than stacking gold. We're going to get into it, but really quick, just in case you're new, make sure to subscribe for daily videos. Subscribe to my second channel for weekly videos. Go and get yourself some DYDSS merchandise to help support the channel. Come and join us in the Precious Metals VIP Club for giveaways, live streams, deal alerts. You can watch Sunday's video right now if you want to, and this morning I just posted a brand new vlog. And of course, make sure to go and get your 5 free stocks by downloading Webull and funding your account. If you refer 2 friends by the end of the month, they're going to give you either a free share of Starbucks, Apple, or Google. Everything will be linked in the description. So today is Saturday, May 14th, 2022. Believe it or not, it's Tuesday the 10th, 2022, as I'm filming the video, which means I have no idea what the spot price is going to be by the time the video drops. So head on down to the comments and let me know the date and time you're viewing the video and what the current spot price is for you. I'm always curious. So today, I wanted to talk about some of the pros, some of the cons to silver, some of the pros and some of the cons for gold. And I wanted to talk about whether or not I think stacking silver is better than stacking gold. Now, the short answer is no, not necessarily, but I personally prefer silver over gold by a landslide. It's my precious metal of choice. It's my priority metal. I'm not hating on gold. I'm a big fan of gold. I love both metals, but I prefer silver way more and for a variety of different reasons. That's what I'm going to talk about throughout the course of the video. And depending on where you are in your stacking journey, you might be on the same boat, you might be on the same page, or it might be the opposite for you. Maybe you think stacking gold is the better buy right now. Maybe you think gold has more opportunity. Regardless of which of the two metals you prefer over the other, in my opinion, I think you're winning either way. I think both decisions are the right decision. If you're stacking one metal, I think you're winning. If you're stacking the other metal, I think you're winning. If you're stacking both, I think you're winning. It's all personal preference at the end of the day, but I wanted to go through some of the pros and some of the cons when it comes to silver and gold, starting with silver. So the biggest pro when it comes to silver, at least in my opinion, is the fact that there is a lot of growth potential there. As I'm filming the video, spot price of silver is only $21 and change, premium excluded, of course. It's in the low 20s right now, and for silver to go all the way back to its all-time high, which it's hit pretty much on 2 separate occasions, that $50 mark, roughly give or take, in order for silver to go all the way back to $50 or even beyond $50, from where it's sitting today, it would need to double in value, or should I say, double in on paper value, that is. It would need to go from $21 and change all the way up to $50. It would need to do a little bit more than 2x in spot price paper value. But to get from point A to point B, that's a huge jump. There's a lot of growth potential there. And a lot of us can very easily sit here and be like, oh, silver's going to 100, silver's going to 300, blah, 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 blah. We can't really say that. We don't know for sure that that's even possible. We can absolutely say that silver can go to $50, though. The reason we are able and allowed to say that is because we know for an absolute fact that it's possible. How do we know that it's possible? Because it's already happened. Metaphorically speaking, if it happened yesterday, it can happen again tomorrow. So I would say that's the biggest pro when it comes to stacking silver. But for every pro, there's a con. So the downside when it comes to silver, I would say, at least in my opinion, is the volatility. A lot of people can't handle the volatility. A lot of people can't stomach the volatility. And it's not just silver, by the way. It goes for really anything that experiences massive amounts of volatility or huge swings in upward or downward directions. A lot of people can't handle that. And during times like these, especially times like these, inflationary times, potentially on the brink of recessionary times, when the economy is in shambles, or when this is going on, or when there's geopolitical conflict or war, or whatever the case may be. During times like these, where coincidentally pretty much all of those things are happening at once right now, during times like these, a lot of people are looking for a sense of stability during these times of economic instability. People are looking for a safe haven. People are looking for a place to park their cash and keep it in one spot without having to worry too much about the big swings in downward directions or even in upward directions. Especially during these times, heightened volatility. We see a lot of craziness. We see a lot of ups and downs, especially for the more volatile assets. So when it comes to silver, a lot of people are not able to handle that. I'm personally not fazed by it, which is why I believe the pros completely outweigh the cons. And it offers me some opportunities, or some more frequent opportunities, to buy the dip, as they like to say. So when it comes to silver, like I said, not a lot of people can handle the volatility. The volatility doesn't really faze me, but I would definitely say that is a downside to silver. And the reason I say that is because you want something that can be a little bit of an airbag, if that makes sense. When everything comes crashing down, because that happens, every X amount of years, we go through tough times, whether it be political uncertainty, we don't know who's going to win an election, whether it be wartime, whether it be skyrocketing inflation, whether we are on the brink of a potential recession, or whether something else is going on, or the stock market's crashing, or real estate's falling apart. You want there to be something there to act as a buffer. You want there to be something there that you can use as a flight to safety, if that makes sense. And unfortunately, silver, it can absolutely climb up very, very rapidly, but it can also tank very rapidly as well. And it can go up and down and up and down and up and down. Over the course of a couple of weeks, it could be up several dollars or down several dollars. And then give it another week or so, it could be the same thing, but in the opposite direction. So a lot of people, during times of economic instability, they're looking for something to provide them with stability. And even though it's not an issue for me, it might be an issue for some other people. But moving away from silver, let's now talk a little bit about the pros and cons when it comes to gold. The beautiful yellow metal, which, by the way, I have a nice little display right here. I didn't even go through them. I think we all know what those silver coins are. We have 90% junk constitutional Washington quarters at the top, Mercury dimes at the bottom. In the center, we have a Type 1, Type 2 Eagle, a Maple, a Kangaroo, a Britannia, a Franklin half, and some 10 and 1 ounce silver bars. But then when it comes to gold, which is what I wanted to talk about now, we have a 1/4 ounce Philharmonic. We have a 10th ounce Krugerrand, a 10th ounce Philharmonic, a 10th ounce Eagle, a 10th ounce Maple, and a 10th ounce Britannia. But I wanted to talk about the pros and cons when it comes to gold. What I just said when it comes to silver, I would say the biggest downfall is not providing us with a ton of stability, at least on paper stability. I would say the biggest pro when it comes to gold is the exact opposite of silver's con. I think gold provides way more stability. I think gold makes for a far better safe haven. And I'm not the only one that thinks that. I'm not the only one who has that opinion. I just realized, sorry to get distracted, I just realized I do have my kookaburra on hand. But gold, it's not just my opinion, it's not just my belief. A lot of the big dogs feel the same way, which is why we see so many people who already have created massive amounts of wealth. They've already built an empire for themselves. They've already created so much wealth, generational wealth. And what do a lot of them do? They take at least a small sliver of that wealth and they park it into gold. I'm not talking about the celebrities. I'm talking about far, far, far beyond that level of wealth. I'm talking about the multimillionaires, the billionaires. They take a small sliver of their wealth. We see this time and time again. And they park just some of that cash into gold. Why is this? Number one, gold is just the symbol of wealth, if you think about it. Two, it's recognized no matter where you go, so is silver, but it's obviously it's a little bit more stable. And three, during the rocky times, which is coincidentally when a lot of these big dogs sell off portions of their portfolios and take that cash and put it into gold, it's when they believe that rocky times are on the horizon. See, they get a little bit more of a heads up than we do sometimes. We just wake up in the morning and we notice that everything came crashing down. Some of these guys, they know a thing or two before us. And that's why a lot of people kind of follow the leader. When you see that these big dogs are selling off portions of their portfolio, if they're liquidating or if they're choosing to remain relatively cash heavy, or if they're taking some of their cash and parking it in gold, that's what a lot of people end up following as well. And again, a lot of people look at silver as like the poor man's gold. They don't worry too much about silver. During rocky times, a lot of people want to have gold in their possession because during times of economic instability, they want a sense of stability. And I think gold provides that for a lot of people. That's what I would say the biggest pro is when it comes to gold. Now, unfortunately, like I said before, for every pro, there is a con. So let's now talk about the downside to the beautiful yellow metal. What's funny about this is it's not really too big of a downside, kind of similar to silver's downside. But the biggest downside when it comes to gold is, once again, at least in my opinion, slightly less opportunity, at least for growth. There's plenty of opportunity to store value, in my opinion. I don't think there's nearly as much growth potential, though. I'm not saying that I don't think gold will continue to climb. I absolutely believe that it will. I think gold will remain strong. I think gold will stand its ground. I think gold will stand tall and keep growing. But I don't think it stands the same chance as silver has to, let's just say, double in value from where it is today. Again, if silver were to double in value, all it would need to do is go back to, at this point, not even $50. Gold, you want to know what gold would have to do? It would have to get pretty close to $4,000, a number that it has never seen before. Gold has never even been close to $4,000 before. Gold hasn't even cracked $3,000 before. In fact, I think many of us would like to see gold hit $2,500 before we even talk about anything beyond that. Silver, on the other hand, $50, $45, it's already done that. It's already been there. Like I said before, metaphorically speaking, if it happened yesterday, it can happen again tomorrow. We can say that it's possible because we already know that it's possible because it's already occurred. Gold, on the other hand, it's never been that high. So silver stands a far better chance of being able to double in value from today's prices, as opposed to gold. Yeah, it can absolutely happen, and I wouldn't be surprised if it did, but I think it would take way longer than it would take silver. So again, there are pros and there are cons to both precious metals. They're different metals. They're not the same thing of a different color. That's not what they are. They're different metals for different reasons. They serve different purposes. They weigh different amounts. They have different melting points. They're used in different industries. Granted, they're used in a lot of the same industries too, but they're used in different ways in different industries. They're different metals for different reasons. And I personally believe that the easiest way of setting myself up for success when it comes to financial defense with precious metals is by stacking both. I think if you're stacking both of them, each one's pros kind of sort of cancel out the other one's cons because you're getting the best of both worlds. But when it really comes down to it, the focal point of the video, the title of the video, I personally believe that stacking silver is better than stacking gold for me. That's what it is. Where I am in my stacking journey, I think silver makes far more sense to be stacking right now at this time than gold. Now, that's just how things are going right now, and that's, to be honest with you, that's how things have been going for the last 4.5 years. In theory, that could change. I personally believe that silver is the better buy right now. I think silver is far more undervalued. I think there's way more opportunity in the beautiful white metal than the beautiful yellow metal. That doesn't mean that I'm neglecting gold. That doesn't mean that I've given up on gold. That doesn't mean that I'm no longer stacking gold. I've definitely slowed down a little bit on gold so that I can allocate more dollar bills and acquire more silver. But I personally prefer silver right now, as I've been for the last 4.5 years, and as I will probably continue. I'll probably continue to prefer silver over gold for the next 4.5 years. Unless, of course, something changes. As I always say, as the great Chael Sonnen always says, I reserve the right to change my opinion if confronted with new information, but based on the information that I have on hand, silver's just the way to go. At least for me. But I want you guys to head on down to the comments and let me know anything and everything related to today's video topic. Between the two metals, which is your preference and why? Obviously, the answer for most of us is both. That's the answer for me too. I've been stacking both since the very beginning. I'm continuing to stack both, and I will continue to stack both. But if you were absolutely forced to choose, if you could only pick one, if you were given $1,000 and they said you can put that $1,000 into $1,000 worth of silver or go and get yourself $1,000 worth of gold, premium excluded, you can get it at spot, which would you go after and why? I'm very curious. And like I said before, I personally believe at the end of the day that the best way that I can set myself up for success when it comes to financial defense, at least, is to just continue stacking both. I know this video is primarily about doing the pros and cons and talking about why I prefer silver over gold, but I didn't say a friggin' thing about only stacking silver, exclusively stacking silver, and wanting absolutely nothing to do with gold. No, trust me, I want as much gold in my possession as possible. This video is about if I absolutely had to choose between the two metals, I'd go with silver. But in reality, I am stacking both, I've been stacking both, and I'll continue stacking both. Gold at a much slower pace, and silver I'm trying to hoard as much as possible, as quickly as possible. But I personally believe that by stacking both, and by benefiting off of each of their pros, it kind of outweighs each of their cons. I think the pros are far bigger than the cons. I think the pros outweigh the cons. I think the pros cancel out the other one's cons. And the way that I've been stacking, it's been working very, very well for me. I do understand that I am kind of weak on gold. I am lacking when it comes to gold. And I plan on picking up the pace later on down the road, but for the time being, I'm going to pick up as much silver as I possibly can, and I wholeheartedly believe that if I'm stacking the silver now, I'm stacking both, but if I focus more of my attention on silver now, I wholeheartedly believe that the silver will assist me in getting gold. I believe when the gold to silver ratio gap closes in or tightens up, I believe that I will be able to utilize some of my silver as a tool to acquire more gold. See, that's kind of what my stacking strategy is all about, and I've never done this before. I've never traded any of my silver for gold, but that is a plan for later on down the road. I would never trade all of my silver for gold. I'd never trade most of it or half of it or anything like that. I would trade small portions of the silver for gold if, of course, the opportunity presented itself to me. I would 100% capitalize on the opportunity. And later on down the road, years, decades down the road, when it's all said and done, when the dust settles, I want to be able to look at all of the gold that I've acquired during my lifetime and say to myself that I got most of my gold by buying it with silver. I would rather acquire my gold with silver than dollar bills. I'd rather put my dollar bills into silver so that later on I can put my silver into gold, if that makes sense. That's just the way that I'm doing things, and of course I will pick up a little gold coin every now and then just to stay active and just to continue diversifying. But I want you guys to head on down to the comments and let me know anything and everything related to today's video topic. If you guys like today's video, please hit that like button, subscribe if you're new, subscribe to my second channel, which is my backup channel for exclusive weekly content. Go and get yourself some DYDSS merchandise to help support the channel in the biggest possible way. We got t-shirts, hoodies, stickers, coffee mugs in a bunch of different designs. A lot of the products are helping us raise some funds and awareness for different charity organizations, by the way. DYDSS store will be linked in the description. Come and join us in the Precious Metals VIP Club, which is where I do giveaways every single month, live streams multiple times a week, deal alerts on silver and gold almost every single day. You can watch all of my videos early and commercial free. You can watch Sunday's video right now if you want to, and every Saturday morning I post a brand new vlog. I just posted one this morning and it was a really important one. You're definitely going to want to go and watch it. And there are a ton of other perks as well. VIP Club link in the description. I guarantee you the value exceeds the cost. And of course, last but certainly not least, make sure to go and get your 5 free stocks by downloading Webull and funding your account. Normally it's 2 free stocks. They bumped it up to 5 for just 2 more days. So capitalize on that opportunity while you can. You got 48 hours left. You can deposit any amount, even if it's as little as a penny. It still works. You still get your free stocks. And of course, if you refer 2 friends to the app by the end of the month, Webull's going to give you either a free share of Starbucks, a free share of Apple, or a free share of Google. At the time I'm recording the video, Starbucks is worth about $75 a share, Apple's worth about $155 a share, and Google's worth about $2,300 a share. You get what you get and you don't get upset. It's completely random, but at the end of the day, you win no matter what because you still get something out of it. Don't pass up on an opportunity. Webull link in the description. Time is running out. If you don't want the stocks, go and get them anyway. They're free, and then just sell them, and congratulations, now you have the cash to go and get you some silver or some gold if that's what you want. Webull link in the description. And I want you guys to head on down to the comments and let me know once again, between silver and gold, if you absolutely had to choose, if you could only go after one of the two, which would you go after and why? Which is your precious metal of choice? And are there more pros than I acknowledged? Are there more cons than I acknowledged? And do you think the pros outweigh the cons on both metals? Do you think the cons outweigh the pro on one of the metals and maybe you're staying away from one altogether? Maybe you're going about 50-50 on both metals, or maybe you're just catering more to one metal than the other, kind of like what I am, and you're continuing to stack them both? Head on down to the comments and let me know anything and everything related to today's video topic. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you tomorrow. Don't you dare stop smiling. Peace.